Mill Green today as former gangster Reggie Kray made his final journey to be laid to rest alongside brothers Ronnie and Charlie. It was the closing chapter of a life spanning nearly 7 decades, one that will be remembered for an underworld reign of terror unequalled in the capital's history, one that ended 10 days ago in a hotel in Norfolk. This report from Christopher Peacock.
Reggie Kray came home to his manor for the last time. In life as in death, he was still calling the shots, for he'd given the orders, planned his final exit when he knew he was dying from cancer. It was an old-fashioned East End funeral, his coffin borne in a Victorian glass coach by 6 black-plumed horses. An honour guard of heavies was there to escort his passage to the grave. There were faces from the old firm and younger ones too. Lee Randall knew Reggie Kray. He served 5 years in prison with him.
He was a special man. He's going to be missed, deeply missed.
Seen the film, read the book. I think it's good now, really, that he's finally at peace.
It's an end of an era, isn't it? It's you know, the last of the Kray twins.
Reggie Kray's widow, Roberta, led the mourners. Married only 3 years ago in Maidstone prison, she spent 1 month of freedom with him when he was paroled on compassionate grounds. So began the final journey. Reggie Kray free at last after spending 32 years behind bars. Looking down now over Balance Road, where Reggie and Ronnie Kray were born. This is East End heartland, but the crowds are thinner than expected on the ground, nowhere near the estimated 100,000. But the old-timers were there, playing to the crowd. The service was held at St Matthew's Church, the very place where Reggie Kray had made his last public appearance, attending the funeral of his brother, Charlie. That was in April this year. Reggie, already diagnosed with cancer, probably knew he had only months left to live and was non-committal about his release.
It's not important at this moment in time, but I don't particularly speculate on it because I got more grey than I am now, wouldn't I?
Predictable piece of theatre for a gangster's funeral. Kray's coffin borne out of the church to Frank Sinatra's My Way. A fitting signature tune for a convicted killer who never publicly apologised for his crimes. The final journey to Chingford Mount Cemetery, and Reggie Kray is home, buried in the very same grave as his twin brother Ronnie. They came into the world together, they go out together. But what do youngsters of today who were at this ceremony think of a man they never met, but have only seen portrayed on a film video?
It was good, it was lovely, loads of people down here. They was nice people and good people, as I think that I saw in the video.
Mixing fact with fiction, always a problem when telling the Kray story. What secrets Reg Kray took to his grave, we do not yet know. There's speculation that he died a millionaire. Others will say he was a pauper. But in the months to come, the writers, the filmmakers, the documentary producers will pick over the details. The Kray dynasty is dead, but the name lives on. At Chingford Mount Cemetery, this is Christopher Peacock for London Tonight.
Well, as we saw in Christopher's report, Reggie Kray will be missed by many in the East End of London. But back in the 60s, the Krays ruled that part of town through fear, violence and intimidation. Glenn Campbell looks back at the firm's reign of terror.
The Kray twins, sadistic, violent gangsters to some, generous, sensitive and loyal to others. These 3 people have one thing in common. Each counted the Krays as a personal friend.
Old ladies could go out, women could walk the streets. Not like today. I felt safer, when they was about.
When I got weighed off and I got my bird, Reggie was the first person to phone my mother up to say, Mrs. Pole, don't worry, Joe will do it standing on his head.
Raised in the East End during the war, the Kray twins grew up to run one of London's most feared and notorious criminal gangs. By the mid-60s, they owned dozens of pubs and clubs, ran protection rackets, even bought land abroad, pictured here in Nigeria, negotiating a deal. Back home, they mixed with celebrities and aristocracy.
I think the world of criminal world, if you want to call it that, and the world of celebrities are always intermingled. They always have been. Celebrities would seek them out.
By now, the twins had become almost untouchable. After getting off extortion charges in 1965, they appeared on TV claiming they'd been persecuted.
It doesn't leave us broke, but at the same time, it's a lot of money to have to pay out when one is innocent.
But the police were now determined to bring the Krays to justice, and the twins' empire was soon to crumble.
They were really trying to live out a gangster movie. This twin bond linked them into an inevitable chain of murders, which spelled their downfall, but also made the legend into what it is today.
Ronnie was the first brother to commit murder. One afternoon in 1966, he walked into the Blind Beggar pub and shot small-time villain George Cornell dead in front of dozens of lunchtime drinkers. When police arrived, no one would give evidence. Believing they could get away with murder, it was now Reggie's turn. Jack the Hat McVitie had at one time been part of the Kray gang, but he'd fallen out of favour after openly criticising the twins. Lured under false pretences to a party in Hackney, McVitie was oblivious to the fate waiting for him inside.
Reggie Kray produced a gun and went to shoot Jack McVitie, but it jammed twice. A fierce struggle followed, but Jack McVitie was hopelessly outnumbered and pinned on the floor. Reggie Kray then stabbed him several times. The murder was to be the beginning of the end of the Krays' criminal enterprises.
Rumours of the two killings soon reached police. The twins were arrested hiding in a flat in this tower block. At the Old Bailey in January 1969, Ronnie and Reggie were sentenced to 30 years apiece.
All of us have a responsibility for the Krays and people like them. They're my violence. It's sick, or it may be sick, but this is how society works. This is the last one. Sure, I miss him. It's any friend. But when he got his 30 years, really, the two of them, it's like they died then.
Dick Turpin, Jack the Ripper, now the Krays, consigned to criminal folklore for a very long time to come. In the East End, this is Glenn Campbell for London Tonight.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please join our Facebook group. It's called Krays Crime Lords of London. We're a friendly, moderated group with over 1,000 Kray and other celebrated gangster videos available for view. There's also thousands of images in the photos sections. The link for the group is in the YouTube description section.